Fourth Great Ninja War, an era of godlike beings, resurrected legends, and explosions that could level entire landscapes, and yet the single greatest fight in this entire arc, maybe the entire series, had none of that. It was a fight with no giant energy blast, no tailed beast nukes, and for the most of its runtime, not a single word of dialogue. It was just two men in a desolate dimension fighting with raw, brutal skill. But this fight was more than a fight. It was a tragedy, a philosophical debate, and a masterpiece of storytelling. This is the story of Kakashi Hatake and Obito Uchiha, and what if I told you that this entire legendary confrontation was a lie? That the winner never actually won and the loser got exactly what he wanted. Today, we're not just recapping a fight, we're dissecting a heartbreak. We're going deep into history, the trauma, and the twisted psychology that made this battle an unforgettable work of art. So if you love Naruto, or just appreciate incredible storytelling, stick around, you're about to see this fight in a whole new light. And hey, if deep dives like this are your thing, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, it helps a lot. Today, to understand why every blow in this fight carries the weight of a lifetime, you have to go back to the beginning, back to Team Minato, long before Team 7. There was another squad that served as its dark, tragic mirror. You had the prodigy, Kakashi Hatake, a genius haunted by the ghost of his father. His dad, the legendary White Fang, had been disgraced for choosing to save his comrades over a mission, a choice that led him to take his own life. This burned a terrible lesson into young Kakashi. The rules and the mission come before everything, even your friends. And then you had his polar opposite, Obito Uchiha, an orphan with a big heart and even bigger dreams of becoming Hokage. But by Uchiha standards, he was a total late bloomer. Where Kakashi saw cold, hard logic, Obito saw the power of friendship. This clash of ideals came to an head in one of the most famous lines in the entire series, a line that would define Kakashi's entire future. In the ninja world, those who break the rules are scum, that's true, but those who abandon their friends are worse than scum. This wasn't just talk. During the Third Shinobi World War, their teammate Rin was kidnapped. Kakashi, still chained by his father's past, was ready to leave her behind to complete the mission. But Obito refused. His words finally broke through Kakashi's armor, and for the first time, they fought together as true comrades. In the chaos of the rescue, Kakashi lost his left eye, and in that same moment, seeing his friends sacrifice, Obito finally awakened his Sharingan. They saved Rin, but their victory was stolen in an instant. A cave-in, in a final act of heroism, Obito shoved Kakashi out of the way of a falling boulder, sacrificing himself. With the right side of his body crushed, Obito gave his friend one last gift, his left Sharingan, to replace the eye Kakashi had just lost. This wasn't just a power-up, it was a physical and spiritual bond, forged in tragedy. Kakashi was forced to leave his friend behind, forever burdened by a new eye and a promise to protect Rin. But Obito didn't die. He was saved by the legendary ghost of the Uchiha clan, Madara. And this is where the story takes its darkest turn. Madara didn't save Obito out of kindness. He needed a pawn, an instrument of pure despair to carry out his grand plan. While Obito recovered, clinging to the hope of returning to his friends, Madara began a campaign of psychological warfare. He orchestrated a scenario of absolute soul-crushing horror. His agents kidnapped Rin and forcibly sealed the three-tailed beast inside her, turning her into a ticking time bomb. The plan was diabolical. Let her be rescued by Kakashi, and once she returned to the Leaf Village, the seal would break, unleashing the beast and destroying their home from the inside. To make sure she couldn't stop it, they placed a curse tag on her heart, preventing her from taking her own life. Rin figured out the plan. Trapped, she begged Kakashi to kill her to save the village. Bound by his promise to Obito, he refused, so Rin made a horrifying choice. As Kakashi charged at an enemy with his signature jutsu, the Chidori, she deliberately jumped in front of his attack, impaling herself on her friend's hand. And as if on cue, Madara made sure Obito arrived at that exact moment. Horrific moment. The trauma was so immense, so profound, that something impossible happened. Both Obito's remaining eyes and the eye he had given to Kakashi evolved into a Mangekyo Sharingan at the very same instant. Think about that. Their pain was so perfectly, tragically synchronized that it physically manifested across two different bodies, miles apart. They began their separate journeys into despair and hope from the exact same point of unbearable agony. The single moment split their paths forever. For Obito, the world was now literally hell. He embraced Madara's nihilistic vision, a world of pain not worth saving. He decided to create a new one. His goal became the Eye of the Moon plan, to cast a global illusion, the infinite Tsukuyomi, trapping everyone in a perfect dream world where there is no loss, no war, and where Rin is still alive. He wasn't a villain hungry for power. He was a broken idealist trying to erase a reality that had hurt him too much. Kakashi, on the other hand, chose to endure the same pain. He was a man drowning in guilt, feeling he had failed everyone he ever loved. But instead of rejecting the world, he chose to carry its weight. He adopted Obito's old creed as his own, making never abandon your friends the core lesson he would one day teach Team 7. He understood that to erase painful memories is to also erase the love that they created. This is the core of their conflict. Obito's all-consuming despair versus Kakashi's hard-won, resilient hope. It's a heavy question, but who do you think had the more tragic path? The one who tried to destroy the world, or the one who had to live in it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Alright, let's get to the main event, which brings us to their final duel. The first move wasn't a punch, but a brilliant strategic decision, taking the fight to the Kamui dimension. In the real world, Obito was basically invincible. His intangibility was just him teleporting parts of his body into the pocket dimension to dodge attacks. But Kakashi's eye, Obito's old eye, could also access the same dimension. They were each other's only weakness. By moving the entire fight into the dimension, Obito's greatest power was completely neutralized. He was now fully vulnerable. The playing field was level. This wouldn't be a battle of hacks or god tier powers. It would be a raw contest of skill, strategy, and will. And what a contest it was. The choreography is a masterclass, drawing inspiration from martial arts like wushu to create fluid, violent dance. Every move is calculated and precise. Look at this. Kakashi draws a kunai. Obito knocks it away, but Kakashi uses a backflip to kick the falling kunai with pinpoint accuracy, slashing Obito's eye. Or this feint where Obito uses Kakashi's own hands to weave the sign for a fireball jutsu, forcing him to break away. But what elevates this from a great fight to a legendary one is the anime's brilliant use of interwoven flashbacks. This wasn't really in the manga, which made the fight feel brief and almost forgettable. The anime team transformed it. A friendly block as a kid is mirrored by a lethal parry as adults. The hand sign of reconciliation they shared as children is tragically echoed in their final fatal clash. This is a dialogue without words. It tells their entire story, the rivalry, the friendship, the heartbreak, without saying a thing. This single moment says it all. Obito literally pushes aside his own past, his own hope, to continue his assault. It's a visual rejection of the boy he used to be. The fight ends with Kakashi plunging his Raikiri through Obito's chest. A victory, right? Wrong. This is the lie. Obito let him win. He needed Kakashi to do this. Remember that cursed tag Madara placed on Rin's heart? He had placed one on Obito's heart too. A seal that prevented him from betraying Madara and, crucially, from becoming the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails. Obito needed that seal destroyed, and he orchestrated the entire fight to manipulate his oldest friend into doing it. He forced Kakashi to reenact his single most traumatic memory, piercing a loved one's heart with his Chidori, but this time it was to serve Obito's grand design. It is the ultimate psychological cruelty. He turned the very symbol of his own pain into the key that would unlock his godhood. And for a time it worked. Obito returned to the real world and became the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, a being of unimaginable power. But the seeds of doubt planted by Kakashi and watered by Naruto's relentless empathy eventually began to grow. He was forced to confront the boy he once was, the hero who dreamed of being Hokage. In the end, Obito chose redemption. He turned on Madara and ultimately sacrificed his life to save Naruto and Kakashi from Kaguya's final attack. In a final transcendent act, his spirit returned one last time to grant Kakashi the power of both his eyes, allowing his old friend to manifest a perfect Susanoo and fight alongside his students. For one brief shining moment, they were a team again, fighting together as the heroes they were always meant to be. The legacy of Kakashi vs. Obito is a testament to the power of character-driven storytelling. In an arc defined by world-breaking powers, the most beloved battle was the one that stripped it all away, focused instead on pure skill and emotional history. The anime took what was a minor moment in the manga and elevated it to masterpiece level, proving that the most impactful moments don't come from the size of the explosion, but from the weight of the story behind every single blow. Their battle was a clash of ideals, a story of hope versus despair, and a painful reminder of how one tragic moment can create both a hero and a villain from the same broken heart. It teaches us that the greatest conflicts are rarely about good versus evil, but are often fought between two people who simply found different ways to cope with their pain. What's your favorite fight in the Naruto series, and why? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, a like and subscribe would be amazing. Thanks for watching. I love you guys. Seemlytuber out. Peace.